What's up, everybody? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever found yourself wondering why certain values are upheld or why they're so deeply ingrained in either your family, your job, or your community? Why do we follow some rules a lot of times without question, while some other rules make us just totally want to rebel? And probably the most important question is, who gets to decide what values we should follow, which ones are worth protecting, and which ones should be passed down from generation to generation or passed down through the generations in our community? Well, Gate 50 is more than just being about responsibility. It's about upholding values. It's called the Gate of Values, the cauldron, and it's about what we do to protect, to nurture, and to keep the tribe together. But what happens when those values really turn into rigid rules that have no use anymore? Where is that fine line between protection and control, right? Rules can be used to also control people. And how do we build trust around values? Or on the flip side, how do we inspire rebellion when some values or rules do not no any longer serve us? So today we're going to talk about Gate 50. Let's talk about the energy that drives us to preserve what's most important while also navigating the balance between traditional freedom and giving people their own autonomy. In astrology, this is on the cusp of Libra and Scorpio. In tarot, this is the Wheel of Fortune. In the I Ching, this is called the Cauldron. And this energy is about upholding values that support tribe's legacy. It is located in the Clinic Center, and in essence and activation of this energy, Gate 50 is often called the Gate of Values. So it represents the energy of upholding and nurturing core values that preserve the well being of the tribe and of our community. And it's also about recognizing what rules, what values are essential for our health, which ones are going to be essential for our longevity, not just of ourselves, but also of the group and of the collective. And when we're in this energy like we are this week, this gate brings a strong sense of responsibility. One, to maintain values, to maintain order, but also instill the values in future generations. As today, I am instilling in my son the value of learning to use the potty. Going pretty well, if I can say so. At its core, a Gate 50 is connected to the creation of enforcement of the rules, boundaries, and laws that keep everything in harmony, that keep things functioning, and really keep society and communities together. However, there is a flip side to this energy, and if you think about it, whenever you create rules, you often create a rebel by creating rules. Whenever a rule is set in place, it's probably because somebody or something did something that the community didn't like. So when we set a new rule, we automatically, kind of outcast that person, outcast that idea. And when we do that, we start enforcing it, we automatically create rebels. And when values become too rigid, people start to resist. I don't think really anyone wants to be, bossed around or told what to do. I really feel that, it's best for most people to find their own way in order to then have the collective be stable and to be good. And, the challenge that Gate 50 brings us is upholding those values in a way that inspires the collective, inspires everyone to adhere to the values versus, starting a rebellion against the rules or against society at large, and ensuring that the rules, are here to protect us versus controlling us. So we got to find that balance between, guiding with structure and also offering that freedom within those boundaries. And that's really the key to activating this energy. When you think about a painting, right? You need a canvas in order to make a beautiful picture. When we're talking about, drawing on a piece of paper, or if you're painting on a canvas, if you don't have anything, any structure, in this case, a rule, you're just kind of painting everywhere, and it may be seen as something that's not as beautiful versus if you had a structure to actually apply the painting or the drawing to, applying to that structure. And so Gate 50 also touches on the tension between hierarchy and hierarchy. And so, with the hierarchy, there's a top down structure to create rules, to create order, but, that could also lead to resentment. And on the kind of very far end of that, that can also become very authoritarian, where it's the rules are the rules and nothing can change, top down, no one can change anything. This also, leads to corruption, right? When there's a hierarchy, that means there's somewhere for someone to climb higher. Whereas when they are climbing higher, there may be an incentive to take shortcuts, to break rules, to become corrupt, to take bribes and things of that nature, or to pay bribes to find our way up the hierarchy, because we have all these rules about how things have to go, and you have to go step by step. At a job, you have to be in the corporate hierarchy, and to get to the CEO, typically you have to start on the lower ring of the ladder. And sometimes they say your work is your family, but a lot of times everyone there is shooting to be the CEO or a top position, so it can be in conflict with the values of the organization if everyone is there really trying to get to the top. On the other hand, a hierarchy embraces a more horizontal, a more flat approach to where power is shared and leadership rotates within the group. I tend to think of myself as a leader, but I'm not sitting in a hierarchy per se, right? I do have influence, but I'm not, looking to circumvent someone else's success to get to the top of the ladder that someone said I need to get to the top to. And so, Gate 50 encourages us to navigate these two different dynamics and really helps us establish structures and to embrace a more fluid approach when everyone's voice is valued in any given situation. And the energy of this gate also helped us maintain the balance between strong leadership, collective input, and making sure that while the values are upheld, we don't suppress the individual and we don't suppress everyone's uh, innovation abilities. Because if we do that, innovation typically comes from someone who's outside of the tribe. It's a new idea, a new thought, and it comes in and it sparks something new within the greater collective. And then we decide, hey, is this worth something that we're going to integrate, or is this something that's outside of the structure and it's not a new value that we want to uphold? Channel 50 also, or Gate 50 also connects with Gate 27 to create the channel of preservation or preservation. And I have this channel in my chart. Gate 27 is all about caring. And so these two connect between the splenic center and the sacral center. And so this channel is all about a powerful energy of nurturing, protecting, and sustaining the well being of others, especially in the context of family and community. And so, since I have this gate in my chart, something I've really known my whole life is that I wanted to be a stay at home parent, stay at home dad. Right? I wanted to be able to show my kids, my family, ways to have a sense of self worth in themselves, ways to um, navigate this world. And honestly, I just love hanging out with my kids and my niece at this point. So I've always wanted to have that, but then there's that balance of, oh, I won't. I want to climb a corporate ladder. I want to have a job that's going to literally take me out of the house 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, if you're including commuting. And When I really thought about my values, it was like, no, I prefer to be with my family. I prefer to do this versus trying to climb some corporate hierarchy. No, if that's what it comes down to, if I have to make a choice, I'm gonna be right here. And so this channel also embodies a deep sense of responsibility and caring for those who depend on us, whether that's physically or emotionally, to make sure that their needs are met. So people with this channel often feel a strong value to uphold values, or a strong drive to uphold values, to make sure that everyone's safe, to make sure everyone's healthy, and doing it in a way that's sustainable, and making sure that the needs of the tribe or our loved ones are taken care of, and that we do it with patience, and that we do it with dedication. So since I have this gate in my chart, one thing I'm doing this week, I have the whole channel in my chart, is I am working on what are going to be the values I offer in my services for my human design readings, or what I'm calling my Successful Signals program, or Successful Signals systems. More to come on that in a later video. But this week I am building out my landing pages, building out my website, and working on what is the copy I want to convey, what are the values I want to convey to those who are maybe interested in learning more about their human design, and how to increase or improve their decision making process. So I'm leaning into the energy of this gate this week, and so hopefully you are too. All right, things for us to reflect and meditate on this week. What values do you believe are essential for the survival and prosperity of your family and community? And how can you better align the time and energy, your time and energy, with these values, and making sure they guide you to action? Things for us to reflect on, or to journal on this week, is take some time to reflect on when you had to stand up for your principles, for your values, and what you believed in, and was it vital to the success for yourself and to the success of others? And how did it feel to uphold that responsibility? Were you willing, able to do it, or did you feel like, hey, maybe these values aren't worth upholding? I a lot of times question the rules of society. I remember in school growing up, there was a rule that you couldn't wear hats inside. And I always thought that was just a dumb rule. There's tons of other things that are dumb as well, but that was one of them. And it was because of the gang violence that had happened back in like the 80s or 90s. But I still felt that that didn't apply to us here in this classroom in sixth grade. Like, it's a hat. Like, I don't get it. So think about what values need more attention in the community, and the ones that you feel are right for you. How can you nurture them and take the steps to help people with those values? uh, let's talk about the shadow and the enlightenment energy of gate 50. So in shadow, you may feel the overwhelming responsibility of caring for others. The fear of failing to protect others, to guide your community, may weigh heavy on you. We are in the splitting center, so this center is all about fear. And so you may find yourself avoiding responsibility altogether, fearing that you're not equipped to uphold the values of the tribe. And in this state, there could really be a disconnect between the principles that are essential for the group survival, which then may lead to moral decay or chaos. On the positive side, or the enlightened energy frequency of gate 50, you become a source of strength and clarity for others. You step into your role as a caretaker, and you do it with confidence, knowing that the values, or your values, align with the greater good. And you're able to inspire others with the same principles, creating harmony, creating balance in your environment where everyone can thrive, and the fear of responsibility is transmuted into trust, really into a deep trust of ourselves and of others. And it allows us to guide and protect those who rely on us. So this is literally me doing these videos and doing successful signal sessions with my clients, helping them really figure out what values are right for them, how should they be caring for the collective, but also really caring for themselves and aligning their values with the actions that they desire to take. Sometimes we do take actions that are not aligned with our values. And, if you're using your human design and if you're a generator like me, trusting your gut, sometimes you get the feeling that, hey, this is not the thing to do. But because society says this is the thing to do, you end up doing it anyway. Uh, Watching a lot of videos on YouTube, particularly around Gen Z and millennials, we were told go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a good job. Well, I really think that is kind of being thrown out the window as, there's things that come with that, like getting a job. It also means that you got to wake up early to get to the job. You don't get paid for commuting. You don't get paid for any time that you work outside of that job. And jobs, at times can be stressful, and it can also have an impact on our health, and it can have negative impacts and cause us disease, literally disease from working too much. And you may see other YouTubers talking about work hard, hustle culture, and all these things, but in reality, there are people who have worked too hard and they've died. They've gotten sick from overworking. And so that's why I love talking about human design and helping people figure out what are the values for them, not anybody else, their values to uphold so they can live the life that they were really designed to live. And the way I think about it is, if we're building a community, you're building a tribe, each person is a brick in building what we desire to see society look as. But if one of the bricks is messed up, you know, the whole thing could be messed up, right? So we have to make sure that if we're building the society brick by brick, each individual is okay. They have the values that they're going to or want to uphold. So that way, when we actually build the house, when we build the community, we have a stable house to live in. We have a stable community to live in. Affirmation for us this week: I trust my ability to uphold values and preserve the strength of the tribe. I embrace my responsibility with grace and with confidence. Anyway, as I mentioned, in human design, this is in the splitting center and it connects to the sacral center via gate 27. And this placement is all about survival instincts. It's tied to preserving our health and safety of the tribe. And the energy is also about creating harmony with the values that align with us and are here for long term stability. The circuitry for Gate 50 is part of the tribal circuit, which emphasizes the importance of community, support, preserving the tribe's welfare, and it also plays a key role in maintaining traditions, values, and practices that keep us strong and also keep us united. This gate also helps us solve conflicts and ensures that everyone within the tribe is operating from a place of integrity and of shared values. The strategy for this gate is projected. This means that gate 50, with its projected energy, means that the value of our values, to say that, is best shared when it's recognized by others and others invite us to share our values. You may find that when people seek out your guidance or seek out your leadership, your ability to protect and uphold the values, that's when it becomes more effective versus going out and trying to push your values on somebody else or tell other people what their values should be. So it's important for us to wait for the right moments to step into this energy or step into the role of leading with values and allowing others to recognize our strengths and to invite us to share our insights. All right. So, how do we go about activating this energy? One, let's reflect on our core values. What are your core values? Take time to define the principles that matter most to you and how to align them with your family, with your friends, and with the community. Two, Embrace your role as the caretaker, knowing that your guidance is valuable and is essential for the long term health of your family and your tribe. And then three, encourage others to use their energy to inspire others around us and to align with their values and work with you to create a set of shared values and create a more harmonious and supportive environment. Additional things we can do for support is practice some mindfulness to stay connected to our values and to ensure our actions are aligned and our actions reflect our principles, and surround yourself with people who share your commitment to upholding the values, whichever values you decide are right for you, so that you can create a supportive network that reinforces the well being of your community. And then also, we can engage in activities that promote harmony with our community. You can volunteer, you can lead groups or initiatives. You can also play sports, do things with groups, and also organize events for our family and for our friends. All right, so wrapping up here on Gate 50, the Gate of Values, it represents the responsibility to preserve and protect the values of the tribe to ensure that the well being of the tribe. This gate empowers you to take on the role of the caretaker, guiding others to live by principles that will create stability and prosperity for future generations. By embracing your responsibility and aligning with your core values, you can foster a harmonious environment where everyone thrives. The true strength comes from upholding the values of Gate 50. Gate 50 reminds us that by embracing responsibility, protecting the principles that we support, that supports the tribe, we can continue to help everyone. Trust in your ability to guide and protect, and know that your values will sustain you, your family, and your society for generations to come. Peace.